All right, so starting on our backs. Oh, you know, I'm grabbing my ball. Do have your ball close by. I don't think we're going to use hand weights today, but we will use the ball. All the way down on your back. Keep the feet hips width distance apart, arms down by your side, and we're just going to start with the knees dropping from one side up and over to the other side. Back and forth. Do this gently. Try to make sure that your legs are controlled here. So I don't want to feel this flopping from side to side, right? I want to still feel like there's some sense of control as you lengthen that top knee away from you as you twist to one side. And then as you twist to the other side, again, the top leg feels like it's reaching the knee towards the opposite corner of your mat. Give me just one more on each side. So we're going to stay on the left. Bring your hands into this cactus arm position. If you want to take your left foot and rest it on top of your right knee, which should be the top knee, you can. You just take a breath or two there. Nice full deep breaths. Good. Let that left foot come down. Come up and over, taking the knees to the right. And we're going to rest that right foot on top of the left knee. Again, the left knee should be the top knee. So the bottom foot rests. Try to make your left shoulder nice and heavy. And then take 2 deep breaths into the left side. So when we breathe today in a lot of these postures, I want you to really think about this kind of 3D breath, right? So the breath isn't just in the belly, but it's coming into the back side of the ribs. It's going wide towards the side ribs. Good. Take the right foot off. Bring the knees back into center and go ahead and hug them both in towards your chest. Good. Now place your feet on the floor and just move your hips up and over to the right. Take your knees back into your chest and drop them over to the left. So I want to try to feel like this plumb line in the center of my spine is staying pretty straight. And then I'm going to let the knees rotate to the left. So if it feels like you're too far over with your hips, you can always slide them back towards center. Right shoulder is nice and heavy. Take 2 big breaths into the right rib cage. Good, one more. Nice, bring those knees back in using your belly. Set your feet down, slide your hips through center, all the way over to the left side of center. Knees into the chest, and you're gonna drop them over to the right side now. So again, you should feel like that spine is pretty straight, but rotating here. Left shoulders down on the floor. Take a deep breath into the left ribs. Make it full. Take your fullest breaths here. Good. Bring those knees back in. Place the feet down. Slide the hips back to center. Good. Bringing the legs up into a tabletop position. We're just going to go for a little bit of toe tapping, okay? So I want to just keep your shoulders down. You can keep them in the cactus arms, but you're going to tap the toes, alternating side to side, keeping the legs bent. It can be a little bit longer, like it can be maybe like a 3/4 length bend instead of 90, so that you feel like you tap your toes farther away from you. But really the key here is I want you to get those ribs nice and heavy, the bottom ribs heavy on the floor. Let's go for 5, 4. Start to feel that cinching in around the waist, holding everything steady to the midline. Last 1 and 1. We're going to take the legs up to the ceiling, so you can keep them a little bit bent, or if you've got the flexibility to take them straight, go ahead. And then from here, we're going to drop the right leg low to hover, bring it back up. Left leg goes low to hover, bring it back up. So one leg is gonna stay up to the ceiling, the other leg is gonna drop down and up. Now, the challenge here is to keep some consistency in the spine, right? So I wanna feel like nothing changes as that leg lowers. I keep all that consistent pressure into my ribs. I can feel some contact with my low back on the floor. We'll just pick up the pace a little bit here. Let's go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3. If it's better for you to bring your arms down by your side, you can. 2, 1, 1. Hold it here. We're going to take both legs down. Arms can come down by your side. And we're going to just bring the legs to about a 45-degree angle. And then we're doing our little kicks here like a swimmer. So keep those ribs down. Keep your shoulders heavy. Just swimming those legs. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend those knees in. Place the feet down on the floor, and we're going to do those little pelvic tilts. So I want you to make this about your belly. You don't even need to take your pelvis off the floor, but I want you to feel like you imprint your waistband of your pants or your low back into the ground by pulling your pubic bone towards your belly button. Let go of your glutes. Let's not make this about the glutes right now, but I want you to make this about drawing those two front hip bones towards each other. Flattening out the low back with the belly. Feeling like everything draws in towards the middle. Let's just go for a few more here. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to reach down and grab your ball. It's going to go in between your thighs. And slowly we're going to peel it all the way up into the bridge. Now from here, we're just going to pull back on the toes so that your feet are flexed and your heels are pushing down and your knees are feeling really long. Make sure you drop those ribs down into the spine so you don't feel like they're flared up. And it should feel like you've got this nice equal sandwich front to back, supporting your belly and your spine. All right, so we've got the toes pulled back. If you need to, you can walk your feet a little bit farther away from you to pull those toes back. And now we're just going to squeeze the ball, release. Squeeze, release. So if you're feeling a lot of this in the low back, see if you can create more of this tilt of the pubic bone towards the belly button. And maybe you don't go as high with the hips. I want you to feel like there's this real nice long length from your shoulders to your knees, not this kind of rainbow action to the spine, but more of this flat plank shape to the spine. We're just going for a few more deep squeezes here. Squeeze the ball, release. Squeeze the ball, release. Squeeze, release. Good, now we're going to squeeze that ball a little quicker. Squeezes, little, small, make them tight. I want you to feel like you're holding that ball and just giving it a little extra squeezes. Here we go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow. Roll the spine all the way down. Take the legs straight up to the ceiling. Flex into the feet if you can. You can always bend the knees a little bit. Same idea, squeezing the ball, release. Squeeze the ball, release. Belly's gonna drive down with every squeeze. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, get those ribs down. 4, relax your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Last one, hold this squeeze. We're gonna lower both legs down only as low as you can go before your back wants to peel up. And then lift. Lower, lift. Okay, you can soften those knees if you need to, but I want some energy in the legs. Try to squeeze that ball. Let's get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take those legs back down to that 45. Last one here, flex the feet, squeeze the ball. 10, 9, 8, 7. If you want to pick your head and shoulders up, you can. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend those knees in. Drop that ball and just take those legs wide into a V. Good. Bring the legs back in, bend the knees. Straighten the legs all the way out. So take your legs out the width of your mat or a little bit wider. We've got that wide V in the legs. Reach the hands all the way up and back. Push the heels down into the floor. And on your exhale, head and shoulders are going to peel up. Roll all the way up. And then we're going to reach forward, hinging from the hips. Good. Try to reach, just holding this reach here. And then place your hands down on the floor. If you need to take your legs a little wider, you can. But I want this feeling of like tilting your pelvis forward and your whole spine extending towards the front of your mat as your sit bones go back. Toes point up. Find that stretch here in your thighs. Take another breath. Soften here. Good, come up. Now we're just going to take this nice tall seat. If you need to get your legs a little closer together, bend your knees or get your hips elevated to get this long spine, then do it, because you don't want to be here in this rounded position, okay? So get yourself tall. So again, that could mean elevating your hips, it could mean bending your knees a little bit, but we're just going to bring the hands behind the head, and we're going to rotate all the way to the right, come back to center, and then all the way around to the left, center. Now, if the hands here at your ears are too much, you can always just bring one of the shoulders, or you can even have them on this little cactus position on like a table. But what I really want you to try to focus on is not just your head and neck rotating, but can we actually get the sternum and the chest to really feel like they come around with those ribs. My belly button's gonna stay pointing forward, and I've got the heels pressed down into the ground to help me get a little lift up out of my hips. Good, just a few more. Here's 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Turn yourself back towards your right thigh. Reach those hands down either side of the leg. Get both sit bones heavy, and you're just going to turn your whole belly button towards that right thigh now and start to walk your chest towards your toes. Now you can take that left hand and grab for that ankle or shin on the right leg to help to rotate the rib cage around towards that right knee. And again, you can fold over more here, but I'm going to try to stay with this flat back. So just give me maybe 2 more big breaths here. Good, 1 more. Good, coming up. Rotate yourself all the way around to the left and start to turn that belly button towards your knees or that left knee as you start to walk your hands out. Get your right sit bone nice and heavy. Toes are pointed up to the ceiling. If you want to take this right hand and grab for the ankle or the shin, you can. But I'm still consistently trying to create length in my spine here. So I'm not rounding over my leg. I'm going to keep my long plumb line at the top of my head as I start to hinge at the hip and reach the crown of my head or chest towards the toes. Give me another breath here. Good, coming back up through center. Let's just get one more thing here before we move on. We're going to take those arms into that cactus position like they're on a little table. And then from here, we're just going to keep those legs nice and wide. And we're just going to rotate the hands up and down. So just moving those arms up and down. Good. Now I'm going to add a little bit of rotation here. So as those hands come up, I'm going to turn to the right, then back to center, turn them down. Pull them up, Turn to the left, center, down, up, right, center, down, up, the left, center, hands come down. Okay, so just try to move through some rotation in the shoulders here. Oops, sorry, as I come back to center. Center, down, hands up as we twist. Center, down, hands up as we twist. Last round. One more to the right. One more to the left. Stay in the center. Just rotating those hands up and down. So we're coming from the shoulders. I want to move a little quicker. Hands down, hands up. Hands down, hands up. Try to relax your neck. Make this about the shoulders. If you need to drop your elbows a little bit, go for it. You should be feeling some heat there. Keep those elbows on that imaginary wall. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up into this cactus arm, and you're just going to bring the soles of your feet together now like a little diamond shape. Press the soles of your feet together and your knees wide, and we're just going to reach the arms up, pull the elbows down and back, and they're going to squeeze behind your back. Reach them all the way up, squeeze them down. So I want you to think about your feet pressing together and your knees going wide. And then the whole time we're trying to sit up. So if you need to move your feet farther away from you, go ahead. But we're doing all of this with this nice posture. I want you to feel really tall. Squeeze those arms in. Squeeze those elbows behind you like they're gonna tap. Try not to let your ribs flare out. Keep them engaged. Good. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold these elbows in by your ribs. Start to hinge forward over your legs. Keep that length in your spine. Keep those elbows kind of hugging behind you. Take one more big breath. And now reach your arms forward, pull them back. So now you're at a little bit more of an incline, right? We've got the spine at a little bit of a 45-degree angle here. If you've got that flexibility, you can always move the feet in or out, closer to the pelvis or farther away. But I want you now to feel this a little bit in that upper back. Here we go, last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come down on either side of the feet and just round your spine, letting your head drop towards your toes. Chin to the chest, let the head be heavy. Good. Slowly roll yourself back up. And we're going to bring the knees together and roll over onto your hands and knees. Okay, let's just get a couple of cat and cow stretches here. Rounding your spine. Push the shoulder blades away from each other and then let them come together on the back as you lift your chest and lift your sit bones. Press down and round. Lift and release. 2 more. Last one. Good. Find that neutral position for the spine. So I want you to feel your belly lift away from the floor. You're going to step that left leg all the way back behind you. And we're just going to pick that left leg up. Turn it to the side. And we're going to start to swing that left leg wide towards the side of the room and then back into center. So try to keep that right hip hugging in. If this is too much, you can bend your knee. You can also come down on that right forearm if you need to. Otherwise, push away from the floor. Try to stay centered. Try not to lean to the right. Here we go for 6, 5, 4, 3. Use your belly. Cinch in that core. 2, 1. Take it all the way back. Bring that left knee in towards that left elbow. Tap. And then extend it all the way back behind you and straighten the leg. Bring it all the way in, tap high on that tricep, and back. You're going to feel your belly have to fire up here. Try to get it above your elbow. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that left knee towards your elbow, little pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that left knee down. Just flip your palms up and stretch your wrists for a second. Squeeze the thumbs and all the fingers, make a little fist. Good, and then back, both hands down. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. Turn the toes to the right. Swing that right leg wide and back into center. Swing it wide and into center. So I want you to feel that left hip hugging in. Both hands pressing down evenly. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing it all the way back. Bring that knee to tap up above that right elbow and then all the way back to straight. So really scoop that belly up away from that right thigh as it comes in towards your chest. Here we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that knee at that elbow, tap the tricep, try to get that knee up, scoop the belly away from your thigh. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that right knee down. Flip those palms one more time so the top of the hands are on the floor. Put the thumbs in the middle of the palm and then curl the fingers around that thumb. Good. Make some little wrist circles. And then we're going to walk those hands out. Keep your hips up over your knees. Walk your hands out and start to press the palms down as you lower your chest and forehead towards the floor. But keep lifting from the armpits. I want you to think of the palms pressing down and firing at the arms. And then the dropping of the chest comes in a resistance to the arms. Pull the belly away from your thighs. Take a couple of breaths here. Walk your hands back in. Keep that left arm right under that left shoulder. We're just going to thread the needle, taking that right arm all the way through till the right ear comes onto the floor. Use that left hand like a little kickstand to turn the chest more towards that right hand on the floor. Okay, so you can stay here. If you want to try to pick up this left foot and slide it towards your hand, you can. And then that left arm is going to come up and maybe tuck into the right hip. Otherwise, you can just stay where you were. Take another breath here. All the weight should be more in your shoulder than in your neck and head. Good. Bring that left arm all the way down. Bring that left knee back. Come on up. Nice and slow. Right hand is just a little bit in front of the right shoulder. Left palm is going to reach through till that left ear hits the floor, left shoulder is on the floor, and then you use that right hand as a kickstand to help rotate the chest towards the right side. And then again, you can either stay here. If you want to shift your weight into the left knee, pick up this right foot and step it out towards that left hand. Then this right hand can come up and maybe come behind you. It can just kind of grip onto that right or that left thigh. Take another breath here. Good. That right arm comes up and down. Swing that right knee back into center. Press yourself all the way up. Tucking those back toes and stepping into plank here. Just holding the plank. Arms are slightly dragging energetically back. Chest is forward. Tail towards your heels. Give me just 2 more breaths here, feeling strong in our position. Good. We're gonna shift the hips back to the heels, moving slow. And then we're gonna come right back into that plank. Move it slow, back and forward. Good, so I wanna feel like I'm dragging my mat forward with my hands, drawing my hips back towards my heels. Let's go for 6. Here's 5. 4. 3. 2. Hold the hips back. Here's our little pulses. Butt back over the heels, shins are parallel to the ground. Push the hands forward. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to straighten into the legs. Pedal the feet. Drop one heel. Bend the opposite knee. And then switch. Maybe give me 1 more round of that. Dropping one heel. Switching to the other side. Good, we'll take that right leg up and back. Reach it back, get long. Feel that left heel drop to the floor. Take another breath. Good, shift your weight forward. Bring that right knee right up to that right elbow. Just hold, look forward with the chest. Good, step that right foot right between your hands. Look forward with those cupcake hands, just get a little longer. Good, lower the left knee and wiggle that right foot just a little bit to the right. And then take this left hand a little bit wider than your mat. So it's gonna come out pretty far so you've got the support for the left shoulder. Left shoulder rolls down and out of the ear, okay? Right arm is gonna reach up. And I want you to try to turn your chest towards the sky as you reach that right hand back. Okay, so that right elbow is gonna dive deep towards the back side of your body as you bend it. And then you're gonna reach it back up to the sky. See if you can create even just a smidge more rotation as you draw that elbow in and reach. Just a couple more. Rotate in and reach. Watch the left shoulder isn't coming forward. I wanna keep it solidly on the back. 2 more. Last one. Good. Now that right arm is going to reach all the way forward, turning my chest towards the floor, and then all the way back towards my back foot, turning my chest towards the wall or the ceiling. All the way forward with that chest, turning towards the ground, all the way back towards the foot. Good. Couple more. Reach forward and back. 2 more. Forward and back. Last one. And back. Good, both hands down on the inside of that right foot. You can walk the left hand back in. Let the hips just stay falling forward. Give yourself just another breath here. Good, now I'm gonna wiggle that right foot back into center. We're gonna start to straighten into the right leg and let the toes come up. And your hands are on either side of that shin. If you need them up on blocks, go for it, but I'm gonna try to get this feeling of right hip drawing back and down. And my spine's trying to feel like it has as little rounding as it can. It's trying to stay as flat as it can. Just breathe into that hamstring stretch. Now from here, I'm gonna just have you stay in this position with the rest of your body. It's just gonna be your foot that's gonna point, like it's gonna try to tap the floor with the toes, and then pull back. You're gonna try to tap the floor with the toes, and pull back. 3 more like that. 3. Here's 2. Last one. Good, toes pull back. Left hand can go on the block if you need to, or you can stay right where you are. It's gonna stay under that left arm. And then I'm gonna start to turn my chest towards this right thigh. Your right hip is dropping down and pulling back. Now, if you want that right arm to go up, you can, or it can just stay in the crease of your right hip. Give me a couple breaths. One more. Good job. Bring that hand back down. Slide this right foot in. So when you come up, you've got this nice 90-degree bend in the knee, the front knee and the bottom knee, okay? Right hand can come onto the hip. Left arm's gonna go to the sky. And we're gonna side bend up and over to the right. So you're bending towards that front leg. I want you to feel your hips squeeze a little bit forward. So it's coming from that glutes engaged, that left glute's kind of engaged. You feel your pubic bone pull up, and then lift back up. So the right hand can stay at the hip, or it can reach towards the floor, but we're gonna side bend, inhale, exhale, come up. Side bend, inhale, exhale up. 3 more like that. Inhale, reaching towards the floor with the right hand, and up. Inhale, reaching that left arm over your ear, and up. Check that you're not arching into your low back. Stay on this right side. Stay long, hold this side bend here. Little reaches, little pulses to the right. Here's 8, 7, just a little, 6, 5, engage your belly, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both arms come back up. Both hands are gonna come down on either side of that right foot. We can start to wiggle that right foot forward again so that we can tuck the back toes. Look in front of you. You should be able to pick this left knee up and be in this long lunge. Now push into the right heel. I want you to feel your butt turn on as you inhale and bring your hands all the way up. And then we're gonna tap those fingertips all the way back down to the ground. So just holding your hip legs nice and still. But I want you to feel this movement happening all the way from the pelvis. The pelvis tilts forward as you come down, and the pelvis pulls back upright as you come up. Now I have to soften my left knee a little bit as I come up, so that I can keep that pelvis coming with me as I'm rising with my spine. So my spine is gonna bring the pelvis with me to this upright position. Let's just go for 4 more. Tap the floor, pull it up and lift. 4. Tap, pull it up and lift. 3. Tap, lift. 2. Tap, and lift. 1. Hold it here. Swing those hands back behind you and interlace the fingers. See if you can bring your palms together. Squeeze your elbows towards each other and lift your chest. And maybe start to take the hands a little bit away from your hips. Holding here. Now we're going to start to extend the chest over that right thigh. Bring all the weight into the right leg. And we're going to come up into our warrior 3. Just holding here for strength. Try to keep those hands bound. Chest open. Just breathe. Left leg is nice and straight. Keep opening the chest. Try to lift the hands away from the hips. 1 more big breath. Step that left foot all the way back. Inhale, those arms release and reach to the ceiling. Exhale, both hands down on either side of the right foot. Step it back to your plank. And just pause here for a moment. Lower the knees to the floor, look forward. Let's just do our little chaturanga push-ups, nice and slow. You're gonna bend the elbows, press back up. Slow bend to squeeze and press. Try to get those elbows to touch your ribs and back up. Watch the heads, the shoulders aren't dropping down. Keep them lifted away from the floor. Let's go for 4. Here's 3. Last 2. And 1. All the way to the floor, belly down. Take that right arm out like a little cactus or even a straight arm at a diagonal as we roll onto that right side, stretch the chest. Left knee can bend and put the foot on the floor, or it can just rest down behind you. And I want you to feel this stretch from the sternum to the shoulder, going out. Give me a couple deep breaths here. Good, one more. Good. Bring the legs back in. Slow roll to your left. And again, you can do like a cactus arm, or maybe that arm goes straight, but try to take it a little bit at a diagonal from the body, so it's not just straight out from the shoulder, just a little bit above the shoulder. And then we'll roll onto the left side. Now again, you can bend the right knee and place the foot on the floor if that's accessible, or the leg can just stay straight, you can rest on the ground. But press into the left hand enough that you feel this kind of activation and stretch happening in the left side of the chest and shoulder. 3 big breaths. Good. Back onto your belly. Bring those hands down on either side of your ribs so that your hands are right under your elbows. And then I want you just to lift your chest, keep your feet on the floor, and press your hands down into the ground and squeeze your elbows in. Just turning on the back side of the body. Keep pressing into the hands. Try to make the ribs feel like they're getting lighter, right? Because you're pushing the hands down and squeezing the elbows in. The neck is long and relaxed. Pubic bone is heavy. Give me one more big breath here. Pressing into those hands, squeezing in. Good, now keep all that height. Pick those hands up, just hold here. Relax the neck. Hands are just hovering above the ground. If it feels good, pick up the legs. One more breath here. Now if it feels good there, stay. If you want to, you can also extend and reach the arms forward. You got 3 breaths. 2. 1 more. Good, bring those hands under your elbows. Push back to your knees. Child's pose, round the back. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Big breath in. Good, keep your butt back on your thighs. Walk your hands over to the left. Really walk that right arm out as much as you can. Keep it kind of wiggling away from you as you sink back to your right sit bone. So your right hand reaches to that left corner of your mat, and your right sit bone goes back towards your heel. Take a couple deep breaths here. Good. Walk the hands up and over to the right. Keep that left sit bone on your heel and walk that left arm really far away from you. Keep walking it out. And then start to drop the chest and sink back over to the left side. Last big inhale. Good, walk your hands back to center. Come up on those hands and knees. Push up into your plank. Pausing here. Feeling strong. Tail towards your heels. Legs fired. Good. Use your belly, lift your hips up and back into down dog. Pedal the feet for a moment. All right, left leg's gonna reach up and back. Really lengthen it back. Try to let the right heel get even heavier. Feel like you're pushing your hands down and forward. Your leg is reaching back towards the wall behind you. One more big breath. Good, shift it forward. Bring that left knee to touch that left elbow. Hold it. Good, set it between the hands. Lower that right knee towards the floor and wiggle the left foot out a little bit so you feel like you've got it just to the side of the hands. Now we're gonna walk this right hand out pretty far so it kind of acts like a kickstand. Roll the right shoulder back. Take your left hand on your thigh and just help yourself to twist a little bit towards the left leg. And if it feels good, that left arm's gonna reach up. Just turn your chest towards the side. Again, you can walk this left foot out as much as you need or that right shoulder. Just watch your right shoulder not rounding in towards your knee. Right, I want it to go back. Lean back, reach. Good. Now, here's where we're gonna add that left elbow squeezing in towards your left ribs, turns you a little to the ceiling, and then reach back up. Pull the elbow in and squeeze, and lengthen. Pull it in and squeeze, and lengthen. Good. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to reach that left arm all the way forward. You're going to turn the chest towards the floor, and then that left arm is going to sweep all the way back towards the back foot and rotate your chest towards the sidewall. Inhale, reach forward, rotate the chest down. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. 4 more. Here's 3. Last 2. Last 1. Good job. Both hands just to the inside of that left foot. Wiggle that left foot a little bit more into center or closer to the left hand. And just let the hips fall for a minute here. Good. Now we're going to start to move the hips back towards your right heel. Straighten that left leg. You can move that left leg more into the center now, and hands are on either side. Now this left hip is lengthening back behind me and rotating down towards the floor, okay? So I want to feel like my chest is extending towards my toes. We're going to pull those left toes back. You can always put your hands up on blocks if you feel like you're very rounded. I want you to try to get up into this long position. All right, here's where we're just going to try to tap those left toes to the floor and then pull them back. It's deceiving how challenging this can be. You should feel that stretch maybe all through the top of the foot, the shin, and the ankle. Good. We'll just go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull back on the toes. Stay here. So get your positioning feeling nice and stable, because here's where we're going to take that left hand to the hip. Pull that left sit bone down. Keep your right hand on the floor or on a block as you turn your chest towards this left leg. So I've still got a pretty flat back here. Then I'm going to reach my left hand up to the ceiling if that's successful. You can always stay here in the hip as well. All right, give me 3 breaths. Try not to let the left toes roll out. Try not to let your right shoulder roll in. Good, 1 more big breath. Good, bring both hands down. Slide this left foot in, so now you feel like you got this kind of proposal position for the legs, right? We got the left leg in front, right knee on the floor. Start with the left hand in the hip, right arm over the ear, and we're gonna side bend up and over to the left. Take a couple deep breaths here. Good, lift back up. Left arm is gonna reach to the floor, right arm is up over the ear. So again, really important we stay supported here in the core and you're not in this arched low back, right? So the belly's pulled in. And we're just gonna lean over to the left side as the left fingertips reach towards the floor. And then we'll come back upright. Reach the right arm over the ear. And back upright. And up. So I want you to feel like there's some work and stretch happening here through those obliques. And up. Let's go 3 more. 3, 2, hold it to the left, little pulses, little reaches of the hand to the floor, and the other arm over the ear. There's 6, 5, pull the ribs in, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Both hands are going to come down. We're going to wiggle that left foot a little bit more forward so that you can tuck your back toes and pick up that right leg. Now get firm in your feet. Don't feel like you're too close together. Get them about hips width distance apart. Tap the floor with your fingertips. Then come all the way upright, all the way back down to tap. Okay, so I want you to really feel this ability to move the spine and the pelvis as one. And the legs are gonna hold. So they may shift a little bit in that back leg especially. There may be a little bit of a deeper bend that happens as you come up. But other than that, they're pretty much in a nice neutral hold. Let's go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold yourself upright. Interlace the hands the weird way behind you so that those elbows can hug in and your chest can open. You've got those fingers interlaced. And then we're going to extend our chest over that left thigh and slowly start to pick that right leg up. Holding here. Zip your belly up. Find that chest opener. Find your balance. Breathe. Feeling stable and strong. 2 more breaths. Slowly stepping that right foot to the back of the mat. And releasing both arms up to the ceiling. Good. Exhale, hands down on either side of that left foot. Step it back to your plank. Hold here. Lower the knees. Take your hands wide for your push-ups. And again, nice and slow. Lowering down, pushing back up. Lowering down, and up. Slow. Controlled. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way to the floor. You're going to take those legs, reach them back. You're going to bend the knees. Let them be wide. Let your feet come towards each other. And then we're going to reach those hands back towards your toes or towards your legs as you lift your legs up. Now sweep your arms forward, extend your legs back. And then sweep your arms back and bend your knees. Find length over height here. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hands down, press back through child's pose, rounding the back. Good, pick your hips up, send your hips back down facing dog. Last little bit, guys. Right leg goes up and back. We're gonna bring that right knee to your right wrist and come down for pigeon. So that right foot's kind of angled back towards my hip. I'm gonna tuck my toes, kind of move my left leg back so that I can get my hips to come closer to the floor. And then I'm gonna come down my forearms. So you shouldn't really have any pain in that right knee. So if you do, maybe you walk your foot in a little bit towards your hip, or we can always change this to just be a figure 4 stretch on your hip, like if you sit down, crossing the ankle over the knee. So if this one's bothering your knee, we want this to be in the hip. So take a little breather, come back out, sit down, and just cross your right leg over your left if you're gonna be in a different position. Otherwise, just sit here and breathe for a couple of breaths. Try to let the hips relax. Three more breaths. Last one. Good. Place both hands down, tuck your back toes, slide that right leg back, and go up and back downward facing dog, and we'll do that again on the left side. So left leg's gonna come up. You're gonna bring that left knee right behind your left wrist, and let that right foot walk itself in towards your right hip. So it doesn't have to be too far away from your body. Again, if this is bothersome to the knee, you can always come to a seat and do figure 4. Make your way onto your forearms, if that's accessible. Then we're just gonna try to relax here. See if you can get both hip points to kind of tilt towards the floor. If you've got your toes on the ground, you can press into those right toes. Just 2 or 3 more breaths here. One more. Good. Go ahead and press yourself back up on your hands. Tuck your toes. Just slide that left knee back underneath you so that you're on all fours. And then we're just going to cross our legs and have a seat. Right hand is going to come behind you, and you're going to pin it on that left side and just hold it with that left hand. So the right arm is behind you. We're going to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder, and you can just make some little chin tilts away from your chest and towards your chest, right? So just doing a couple of little tilts of the chin away and down. Away and down. Couple more, just little movements here. If it feels good, you can drop the chin all the way down, all the way back. And if you find a spot somewhere that feels really tight, you just want to sit there and breathe. Good. Slowly bring that head back to center. You can use your left hand to bring it back up. And we'll switch it. Left arm comes behind. Palms press together. And then we're going to drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Right? So we're going away from the arm that's behind us. We're going away from the left shoulder. Now again, little tilts of the chin. Down, back, down, And back. Good. You can make them a little bigger if it feels good. Now you find somewhere around this movement that you feel like you can just hang out. And take a couple of deep breaths. Let the weight of your head create a little bit of traction and space in the neck. One more big breath. Good. Slowly let the chin drop towards the chest. You can use your right hand to push your forehead back up. Good job, guys. Hopefully, our body feels good.